999, or 9 Hours, 9 Persons and 9 Hours to give it its full title, is the first chapter in the Nonary Games trilogy. It's a visual novel style game and, spoiler alert, it's about 9 people who have 9 hours to go through, you guessed it, 9 doors. The initial story of the game is that you start off on the famously sinkable Titanic and have to work your way through 9 numbered doors, going through various escape rooms in order to escape the ship before it sinks. However, much like the iceberg that the Titanic rudely bumped into, this is just the small overall narrative of a much deeper plot. There is a recurring theme about characters being able to tap into an unseen ether in order to gain knowledge that they didn't previously have. Without going into spoilers just yet, this theme then not only justifies multiple playthroughs, but also encourages them. You see, the game is not linear and it allows you to make the choice of going through which doors you want to in which order. This means that there are multiple paths through the game and therefore multiple endings, and each playthrough gives you additional knowledge to use on the next playthrough. In a kind of quasi-new game plus, the game remembers the choices and the knowledge that you've gained from previous playthroughs to allow you to advance in a different playthrough. This then allows you to unlock the true final ending of the game, and what a whopper it is. A thought I'm sure the iceberg had when the renegade Titanic recklessly charged towards it. Much like all visual novels, there is a ton of reading to be done, as the story is the main emphasis of the game. The game does spend a lot of time explaining the rules of the game, and these are predominantly maths related, which is probably not everybody's suit. You see, the way the game works is that each character is assigned a number, and in order to go through a certain numbered door, the characters have to have a combined total that equates to that door's number. Within the context of the game, this is referred to as a digital route. Additionally, only 3 to 5 characters at a time can go through a particular door. So, for example, if some characters want to go through the door number 7, then the characters with the numbers 4, 2 and 1 could enter, or the characters with 9, 8, 6 and 2 could enter. Now, the total of 9, 8, 6 and 2 equates to 25. If you have a double digit number, those two numbers are then added together to then give you a total 1-digit number, in this case 7. It's a pretty easy concept to come to terms with, but I will say that the game spends a lot of time repeating this basic premise over and over from different characters' perspectives. Additionally, the game also spends a lot of time explaining why the characters are then meeting up again after they've gone through their different escape rooms. Pretty much every time you complete an escape room, you're given a map, which the game then uses to justify why one group of individuals has then met up again with a different group. I didn't feel this was particularly necessary. The game is just based upon a cruise ship, and naturally a cruise ship has just branching rooms coming off a main corridor, so naturally if you go down one route you're probably going to bump into people who go down a different route. It's not a big issue, but I did feel it was kind of unnecessary, and considering the amount of times this is repeated, it just, well, became a little bit, well, repetitive, to repeat himself repetitively again. In terms of gameplay, each numbered room leads you to a mini escape room. These mini escape rooms use your classic tropes of having to solve puzzles, find keys to unlock doors to then leave the room. Later in the game, some of the escape rooms then use this digital route concept that I previously spoke about in order to solve some of those puzzles. Even later in the game then introduces a hexadecimal system, which is another maths related subject. Now, you don't have to be John W. Nystrom to solve these puzzles, but suffice to say, if maths isn't your thing, then this might prove a bit problematic. However, the game is very understanding of this, and if you spend too long on a particular puzzle, the other characters will then give you hints in order to solve it. Even better, if you become particularly stuck on a problem, the other characters will basically give you the solution. It's clear that the developers of this game wanted people to experience the full story, so I feel this was a welcome addition. The game also provides you with a flowchart of the different routes you could take within the game, so once you've done one story arc, you can then just go back, find a different decision, and go down a different route. Personally, I really enjoyed this game. My first playthrough ended pretty abruptly, and I got one of the bad endings and had pretty much no resolution as to the story, why they were there, the characters, everything was just left in the balance. And I'll be honest, I had to use a guide to actually find my way to the true ending, as it turned out I had actually gone down the correct narrative path, but because I hadn't done different branching storylines to gain the knowledge needed, I wasn't able to complete the correct route. However, all that being said, once you do understand the true overall narrative, as frustrating as my first playthrough left me feeling, it actually does make sense. And just to repeat myself once more, keeping in theme with this game, the full story is full-on anime bonkers in its scope and revelations. Initially, when this game first came out, it didn't sell particularly well. However, thanks to its reputation and word of mouth, it has become a bit of a cult classic. But like any visual novel style game, it's the story that you're here for, and despite some clunky and repetitive narrative, the game itself is brilliant, the story is fantastic, and personally I cannot wait to play the sequel.
Oh, that worked. What? Huh? It's running on its own?
It certainly looks like it.
Isn't that kinda weird?
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and monitor. The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So, why is it working?
Maybe it's a wireless display.
A wireless display?
Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly, hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
Is that normal?
Yes, at least where I worked.
Oh.
Oh, it stopped.
Pass with a colon.
Looks like we need to enter a password.
Again? There must be a hint around here somewhere.
Could you go take a look?
Yeah, I'm on it. What are you going to do?
I'll see if I can do something about this on my own.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus?
All right. Let's kick some ass.
Wait, what?
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of course I didn't! You're typing so fast, I can't even see your fingers. Well, at any rate, you're pretty amazing.
Did you fall for me again?
Whoa, what do you mean, again? I'm not into you.
I know. Don't be so stubborn, shy boy.
I am not being stubborn, I am not shy, and I am not a boy. I am a young, healthy, 21-year-old man. I'm not gonna fall for an old lady like you.
Old lady? Did you just say old lady?
Well,
I've had enough of you. Go somewhere else. You're bothering me.
What?
Go see if you can find a password hint or something. I'll try and open this from here. You're distracting me. Go. Now.
Fine, I guess I'll go. Nothing. No clues whatsoever. Clover didn't find anything useful in the laboratory either. Damn, looks like we've hit a dead end this time.
All right! Bullseye! Junpei, I did it!
What? Let me see. What is that?
I don't have any idea. It just showed up after I cracked the password.
You think it's a puzzle?
It certainly looks like one.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
No, I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing. So, there's nothing more I can do. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
Let me take a break, all right? I did my part.
Well, I guess you're right. Thanks, Lotus.
No problem. And make sure you know when you should thank people.
Now, I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.